Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article that I picked for today's video, or for today's second video, is to show how people, our ideologues, assess information and make statements, their process. This is in regards to the two missiles that fell on Polish territory, where at the first few hours Russia was blamed for, and obviously some people immediately jumped and made statements that Russia will need to do this, NATO could do this, Poland is part of NATO, Russia will be something and Russia will be something. And some normal people, which is you and I, said, okay, wait a minute, let's let the investigation reach its completion and determine who did what and when and so on, right? And but you have these ideologues, these hyenas jumping up and immediately started pointing fingers without knowing, just reading something left and right. And you can make statements, but you have to say, in case that is true, I blame this, but it's like yelling or crying fire in a movie theater, right? You have freedom of speech, but not for that. You create panic, you create situation. Now that's just a movie theater and a nasty neighborhood, but here is a prime minister of a very, very player on the global arena. And I don't know, they play too much because they have too much money, it seems like, an influence. Not as a country, it's just the Netherlands, it's a small country, rich country, but strategically has really no value. Why? Because you need one punch and you knock it out. That means one really good missile. That's all. Or just a little something in front of it meaning in the sea, creating a big wave that will wipe the whole Netherlands in 2 minutes. So I'm just exaggerating, but you don't need to hit the country, you need to hit the waters, the ocean, boom, or the sea, however you want to call it over there, Baltic Sea, Nordic Sea, this sea, that sea, English Channel, whatever, the water. Hit it over there, create a tsunami, and Netherlands no more. You don't need to shoot it exactly there. So anyway, this is what the Russians said one time about London. They don't need to do that, London, Great Britain. But let's go back here. We have this article where I have a weasel, an opportunistic ideologue. That means he's got an ideology in his head, and everything that he looks through those lenses and tries to interpret them by that ideology. And he tries to find events, actions, according to his way of seeing things. So if I'm wearing this black shirt on me today, which I love a lot, it means that somehow I could be a racist. Why? Because I like to use black as an color that would make me feel good with black. You can do that. Or why do I choose to do this? I oppress the black color, therefore I oppress. I like that because I use the black. So I'm a user, I'm a master. If you have a stupid ideology. Or you can say, no, actually you love black. You love black people. Why? You like to be close to them. This is another ideology. Then, you like to wear. You like to be in close touch with them. If you know what I mean. You support it. You promote it. So it's based on ideologies, on fucking brains. So this guy here is the Prime Minister of Netherlands. And this is what he says. This comes from the New Voice of Ukraine. So that's a Ukrainian media outlet. This comes from November 16th. So this is today at 2:31 p.m. their time. Okay, so their time over there, it's already midday. And this is what he says. Netherlands Prime Minister Rutte blames Russia for missile downed in Poland. We already know, and they already knew by 2:31 when this was posted, When this guy made the comments, they already know, which is United States and NATO, that the missiles that landed in Poland were not Russian, were Ukrainian, according to their investigation. So they were S-300s, Ukrainian defense missile systems that tried to shoot Russian rockets or missiles, I'm sorry, coming from Russia in the Lviv area. And somehow they were so good that they just dropped on Poland. And everybody was, oh, that's a Russian-made missile, must be the Russians. As I explained yesterday, if a criminal uses an AK-47 here in the United States neighborhood, it doesn't mean he is Russian just because he uses the weapon. So if they find a bullet and the bullet is identified to whatever, let's say Winchester or Remington or whatever American company, it doesn't mean it was an American. It doesn't mean just, oh, it was the weapon used by who? We're going to find out who the person was. So the same, this guy's, oh, it's a Russian missile fragment, must be Russian. Remember those guys, they were the Russians criminals, their services failed to poison in London the last batch, and they used what, Novichok poison. Oh, it must be the Russians because they used that kind of poison, and that kind of poison was made by the Soviets. So it's Russian made. So if it's Russian made, only they have it. And it's not true. There's many other countries who have that Novichok, whatever. So again, the same stupidity and logic, and we have a big segment of our society who believed that story and believed it was for that reason. Oh, it was Russian poison made by Russians, must be Russians. Really, really. Yeah, really. This is the people we rub shoulders and elbows with in a society. When you go to buy your groceries, these are the people. And they drive cars. And they have families. And they probably own guns. And they most dangerously vote. So yeah, this is the people when you drive a car and you look around to the other people who come drive their cars, think they are these people who don't know, barely know which is left and which is right. This is how it goes. So let's see what this guy says. So he has blamed for a rogue. Netherlands Prime Minister Mark Rutte has blamed Russia for a rogue missile strike in eastern Poland, which killed 2 civilians, according to his Twitter post on November 16, today. The official reported that the issue was discussed during a meeting of G7 members in Bali, Indonesia, amid a background of a large leaders-level G20 summit. That's where Biden said it was most likely not Russia who hit it in that meeting. And they informed the Weasels, hey, actually it was someone else. Rutte assured that Poland will have his country's full support in the investigation of the incident to establish all the facts, noting that the tragedy would not have happened without Russian aggression. Well, how about with your support or not, a lack of support of the Minsk agreements? Why didn't you fight fire? How did you recognize the 2014 government of Kiev, of Ukraine, when they took over? Did you recognize that? Did you validate that coup d'etat? I guess you did. So without that, would not end up here. Oh, we're going to go further. Oh, I guess you agreed with the NATO expansion eastwards towards Russia, right? Oh, I guess that without that, we'll not have this. Oh, I guess your mommy got birth of your stupid head. So without that, we'll not have this kind of stupid statements. So then we got, hey, who created mommy? Her mommy and her daddy. And who created those? And oh, we end up to God. Here we go again, right? So then without God creating us, this accident would not have happened. Oh, well, without God's existence, then nothing would have happened. Well, with our brains to create God, then again, so we go back to the origin. So yes, this Rutten is an idiot and is a dangerous person because he states things that are not there yet, and he picks and choose who to blame. It's a preferential situational justice and statements. This is an ideologue. Now what? Now that it's Ukraine, what are you going to do, Netherlands? Are you going to bomb Ukraine? Are you condemn Ukraine, or are you going to say, oh, just people playing with, children playing with fireworks, it's just an accident? Is that what you're going to say? Yes, that's exactly what this guy is going to say. Because he's not a just man. He's not a person who looks for reality and justice and all that. No, they just say it for us, virtue signaling guys. They just say that, but actually just ideologues. That's what they are, dangerous ideologues. And more like this, opportunistic politicians. This is what democracy gives us. A person who's going to show how fantastic he is just for a show. He's going to put up a show, not the reality what that guy is. And when he gets elected, you and I are screwed for 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, depends how long the term of the weasel is. So that's how it goes in a mass democracy, like we have it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.